Hari Om. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Yes, please. Can someone recollect what is it that we have seen last? Yes, please. If anybody can unmute. Yes, please. Can someone recollect anything that we have seen last? Hari Om Chitraji. Yes. Am I audible? All right. Yes. Hari Om Akhilesh ji. Hari Om Badrinaran ji. Namaste. Yes. Can someone recollect anything that we saw in the last session? So we can go on. Yes, please. You have to form the link so we can go ahead.
Om Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Namaste.
Namaste. Hello.
Yes, ji. Yes, please. Yes, Badrinath ji.
Krishna, last Arjuna, just we saw one or two shlokas ending when Arjuna almost said, "Oh Lord, you are the divine manifestation. Let me know what forms of yours should I meditate. Then how do I unite with thee? And what are the ways of meditation?" Then he said, "You are the father of fathers. Please explain to me and let me know how do I quench the thirst for my knowledge."
Yes.
Then Lord Krishna started saying that I will tell you about my manifestations, because there is no end to my manifestations, in fact. But I will tell you only the prominent and the very fine ones. As all across the universe, I am always present.
Okay.
Then he goes on to describe that he's Vishnu, the most radiant. Then among the brilliant, right, he says, "I am the sun." Then I am Marichi, the mightiest one. I am the moon among the constellations. And among in the Somaveda, I am the Som. And
Samaveda.
Samaveda, sorry. And
Yes.
I am present in all living beings and resides in all beings. And I am the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Okay, ji. Yes. So, in short, he is present. I think Deepak ji also wrote very nicely.
I am everything. Among the Rudras, among the people tree, I am the best. I am the best horse. Among the best of the weapons, I am the Vajra.
Yes.
Then,
yes, absolutely.
I am Kamadhenu, the wish
Yielding cow.
Divine cow tree, divine cow among the cattle. Then he says, I am the Om, the sacred syllable also, which is the syllable of creation. I am the silent japa.
Okay.
Among the repetition.
Mantras.
Then,
japa.
Himalayas. I am the Himalayas, among the best of the mountains. So Lord Krishna goes on to say that I am the chief of the demigods.
I am Rama, I am Rudra,
I am Rama,
Yama,
I am the wind,
Varuna.
I am the alligator, I am the
Makar.
lion, the beast of the beasts, and the king of the kings of the forests. Then the Garuda, the king of the eagles. then
Yes.
Prahlada, all
Okay.
want to say.
Yes.
Ganges, they were among the Ganges.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Badrinaranji.
Thank you.
Hari.
Thank you, sir.
That was thank you, sir. So that was a beautiful summary of what Krishna is saying. He is the best in the most, in all manifestations, whatever is finest, probably we can see the divine. This is also found in the Isha Upanishad, where the rishis invoke the divine. They call upon this Bhagwan Pushan. Pushan is a nourisher, the divine one. So it is give me that Pushan, Neve, Karsha, Surya, Vyuha, Rashmin. It is something where Yatte Kalyanatamam Tatte Pashyami. Those are the right words. What is brilliant? In that brilliance, let me recognize your presence. So everywhere where you see brilliance, whether it is even in a debate, the logic of the discussion in the debate also, that Tarka also you can recognize the divine. Krishna goes on to say, Arjuna, among Pandavas, you see me in Arjuna. Among Vrishnis, see me in Krishna. He just goes on saying he's also there in the deception of the gambler also. Means in the cunningness, the skill of cunningness also, that it is what we can say. There's a divinity there also, and in the purity also. Meaning this we must understand that both these ends, the Adhyatmic yogi or the seeker or the sadhak, must be conscious of everything. So he is there here at this one end also, at the other extreme as well. I am the glory of the glorious, victory of the victors, the enterprise of the entrepreneurs. Let us go on. We continue with 30th shloka. Krishna says, Dando damayatam asmi, nitirasmi jigishatam, maunam chaivasmi guhyanam, jnanam jnanam tamaham. I am the mastery of the ruler and the power of the tamer. I am the winning strategy of the invincible conqueror. I am the secret of silent things that are unknown. I am the knowledge of the knower who then becomes known. So here, mastery of the ruler, the power of the tamer. So if you see people who are in charge of different organizations, or in modern days, we don't have what samrajyas of individuals. But sometimes we see that somebody is extremely efficient in handling everything. What is that skill? It almost appears divine. Well, Krishna is saying that skill which is required, because even that Kshatriya who is in charge, that person must have the skill of ruling. Well, and when they rule well, then we can have a Janaka also. If Janaka would actually lead to betterment everywhere, the entire all-round development, something like that. Power of the tamer also. Sometimes when somebody is always ruling, there is always going to be a rebellion. So the ability to even crush it sometimes, how to do it. If it is done wrongly, it will again revive again. So this is something. The ruler, the tamer, the winning strategy of the invincible conqueror. Sometimes some people, I think we see that among athletes also. Sometimes they're always winning. It's like, how are they? Are they human being or not? How is it? Why is this person always winning? What is it? Well, that divine strategy is always there, and Krishna is saying in that, maybe you can recognize. What is the reason Krishna is talking all of this? He's not saying trying to take credit. He doesn't need any credit. He's already in his state of yoga sthiti. What he's asking is, we must be humble enough to recognize the divinity, even in our opponents also. Wherever it is there, that place, our ability to recognize should be awakened. Even if we do, like we saw yesterday, maybe in people we don't like also, divine will be present. He is present. Omnipresent means he is not only in selected places. So everywhere recognize the divine. What happens when you recognize the divine? Then you raise your consciousness, you get to understand. If somebody recognizes this is a brilliant strategy, that is why this person is winning, you will be able to imbibe that. Well, something like that, Krishna goes on, he says, I am the secret of silent things that are unknown. It is said, Maunam Sarvartha Sadhanam. Sometimes remaining quiet is the most important thing. It is said in life that sometimes we must learn when to not speak. That is the greatest thing we can do, being silent. And if you look at the great, you see, we have heard of this research and analysis wing. What happens when they become spies and go into foreign territory? in quietude, in silence. They have to go on everywhere. And in that silence, you can hear. And when you become really silent, you can become conscious of the divine presence also. So I am there, is what Krishna is saying. And I am the knowledge of the knower, who then becomes known. Meaning a person receives the knowledge. Well, that knowledge also recognizes that it is the divinity. And that knowledge only imparts what is that uniqueness into an individual. Well, that is the divine, is what Krishna is saying. I think yesterday we also saw, isn't it? Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam, or where Krishna said, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, that I will grant that wisdom. That is what he said. I will grant that wisdom. Well, something like that we see here. That wisdom inside of, sometimes we feel, oh, this person is so brilliant, he's got something special. Well, don't just, I think even in Manache Shlok, Ramdas Swami says, Nako Manavachi Nako Kirti Ture. Means don't go running after praising the individual. Recognize the divinity. Recognize the divinity behind the individual also. That's what Krishna is talking about. Because what happens when we start idolizing individuals only and we don't recognize the divinity, then we miss something which is very important, which we can actually experience. Krishna goes on, Yacchapi sarvabhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna na tadasti vina yatsyan maya bhutam characharam. Oh Arjuna, whatever be the existence and life form, I am the seed from which they all sprouted from. Nothing motile or immotile, animate or inanimate can be, as their existence is impossible without me. I am that bija, is what Krishna says. I am the seed from which everything is sprouted, whether it is a mobile living being or an immobile one, whether it's an animate object or an inanimate object, meaning living, non-living, moving, non-moving, wherever it is. Krishna is saying, it is my existence. It is from me that they have come into existence. He goes on further. Nantosti mama divyana vibhuti nam parantapa esha tadde shatah prokto vibhute vistaro maya. My manifestations are transcendental and innumerable. O Arjuna, my divine representations are immeasurable. For what I have spoken is nothing but a brief summary, a glimpse of what truth's light is indicatory. Yes, I have not told you everything. I have just given you a hint. I have just given a summary, an indication of the higher truth. I think they say, no, समझदार लोग इशारों से ही समझ जाते हैं. They don't need the entire story. If you are conscious from a small, what we can say, it is said, no, Pindite Brahmandi, what is there in the smallest microcosm, we will find it in the macrocosm, or a prototype is developed first before you develop a big, large-scale machine. Something like that. Krishna is saying, I have given you enough fodder for you. You wanted to know where you can recognize me? See all these places. Now the challenge is up to you. Can you recognize me? Can you experience my presence? Because I am here, I am everywhere, is what Krishna says. He goes on further. Yadad vibhuti sattvam Srimad urjitam eva va tat eva gachatvam mama tejoonsha sambhavam. All creatures that are beautiful and splendorous, and all things that are brilliant, powerful, and glorious, I am the source from which their energies came to be. Know them to be an infinitesimal fraction of me. So Krishna is saying all that is brilliant, all that is beautiful, all that is glorious, all that is powerful. Understand that I am the source that is powering all these energies. And know that this energy also is not my full energy. It's just a small infinitesimal fraction. I think in physics, we have this infinitesimal. What is that? 0.000, several zeros and one, as negligible as possible. It is like that. So all the energies of the universe, which for us is everything, that is still a small infinitesimal fraction of the divine. Then Krishna asks a question to Arjuna now. He says, Athava bahunaitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyam hamidam Krutstamekanshena stito jagat. But oh Arjuna, what is the need for you to understand in detail all the divine forms that manifest in the mortal land? Krishna has a question. He says, why Arjuna? Why do you want all these fine details? Are you some kind of Linnaeus or Lamarck? You want to make a classification? Isn't it plant is like kingdom, phylum, order, family, genus, species, like that? Are you going to do about the Vishwarup of the Supreme Divine also? How many vibhutis? This vibhuti is here. No, he says, don't waste your time, is what he's saying. Don't try to logically, limit yourself because this is unlimited. What are you trying to capture within your finite logical limits? Why do you need all of this? He says, why do you need all these details? Instead, just take it. He says, take it from me that I am both here and everywhere, and the entire universe within a fraction of myself. I bear. The entire universe is just small fraction of me, is what he says. So with this Adhyay is over. Arjuna wanted to know from Krishna, from Sakshat from Krishna, like the horse's mouth. He says, I wanted directly from Krishna, what are the vibhutis where I can find the divine? Krishna has answered. If you recollect, Arjuna said, whatever you tell me, that is like nectar for me, and it is pramana. I don't need any other proof. That is enough. I just want to hear from you. That is sufficient. My question is Arjuna going to be satisfied now that he has received? Anybody? Yes. Is Arjuna going to be satisfied? Then we'll go into the next adhyay. Before we look at the illustration, can someone tell me, what do you think? Is Arjuna going to be satisfied? Because he said, I want to hear. Yes, Dr. Atulji.
No, he won't be satisfied. He would like to see the actual
Vishwa, yes.
Vishwa.
Ji, sir. Absolutely, Dr. Atulji. This is a darshan, isn't it? Why does the devotee, he will study, devotee will do bhajan, all of it is fine. But the aspiration will be there, isn't it? Inside of the heart of the devotee. Darshan do ghanshyamanath muri akhiya pyasi re. Says Manamandir ki jyoti jaga do, but still, I want that darshan. So Arjuna is going to ask, how does Arjuna ask? That will be interesting, because that may be a hint for us also, the right way to ask to receive a darshan. Let us see anyway this illustration. Can someone tell me what is this here? Can someone describe this? The illustration. This is connected with the next adhyay, and we'll begin after that. Yes, please. Anybody? Please feel free to unmute. What does this image describe, or what do you see here? Anybody?
The facial of the student or that sadhak.
Ji, sir.
Illustrate the divinity inside him, because he is out of hatred and desire.
So both these.
Yeah.
Okay. And what, sir? Om Prakash ji, what did you say last?
So he has the love in his heart.
Love in his heart, which is a universal. There's a globe behind that heart, so it is symbolic of the universe, free of hatred and free of desire. Now, this is so beautiful. Without hatred, without desire, having a universal love for the world. But shouldn't we all have a little? Yes, Badrinathji wants to add something.
Hello?
Yes, please. Yes, sir.
By doing this, and since he doesn't have hatred and desire, he thinks, my Lord, whatever is happening is because of thee, and I surrender to thee, something like that. And then he says, I am just an instrument in thy hands. Whatever is happening is because of thee, something like that.
So beautiful. Okay, that's a nice concept Badrinathji has told. Will anybody like to just highlight what Badrinathji has said about becoming an instrument? What is the meaning of this, becoming an instrument? Anybody? Badrinathji, I'll just wait for somebody else. Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, anybody? What does this mean, becoming instrument of the divine?
And it's actually, I think we should have the feeling that we are not the doer.
We're not the doer.
Yes.
All right. So
whatever we do, whatever we get, whatever we don't get, it's all up to the divine to decide what happened. So we are nothing there. We are just the instrument, and the divine uses us as required.
Does the instrument need to have its own individual will, individual wishes and desires?
No, I mean, we should be free of desires and emotions, isn't it? So that's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing.
Because then ego comes in then. When you have your own will and
Yes,
so
that is what happens. Like if you see a surgery takes place, surgeon is having this scalpel in his hand. What does he do? He uses the instrument according to his expertise and knowledge. But if the instrument decides, no, I'll go right instead of left, what will happen to the surgery? It will fall apart. So the surgeon will say, no, this instrument is not good. He throws that instrument, takes another. So this is one interesting aspect. Krishna says, ideal students or ideal individuals or ideal sadhaks, they are free of desire and hatred. We perform their works as instruments of the divine. Let us see what is this divine instrumentation that's going to take place in this Adhyay, or what is it Krishna is going to share about it. I think with this we are ready to enter into the 11th Adhyay. Arjuna Uvacha. He says, Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yatvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. Arjuna said, the secret of spiritual secrets thou hast unveiled. The occult and highest knowledge has been revealed. By the compassion that thou hast upon me showered, my delusion is lifted, and I am by thy grace empowered. Arjuna, who was depressed, Arjuna, who was in confusion, he is speaking now and he is telling Krishna, Krishna, you have revealed to me secrets. There was a time when Arjuna was not willing to listen to any of the secrets. Now he is telling in a very different way. He says, I have heard them, he says, the high knowledge, the occult knowledge. It is a compassion of yours that you have shared all of this with me. My delusion is lifted and I am by thy grace empowered. This is the power of knowledge actually. When you get knowledge, Bhaya disappears, you feel powerful, and the strength of knowledge is what is illumining an individual who gets that realization. Arjuna looks like he's coming out of the darkness. He's not that much in darkness right now. It looks like he's become transformed and he is feeling powerful again. Krishna goes on. He says, Arjuna goes on. He says, Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam shrutau vistara shomaya vattaha kamalapatraksha mahatmyamapi chavyayam. I have heard about all the existences from their birth and also in detail of their progression to and from death and after death. O lotus-eyed one, I have listened of the soul and its imperishable, all-pervading greatness as a whole. He says, I have understood everything of the soul. You have talked, he doesn't say I have understood, he says, I have heard. I have heard about this, about the various myriads of existences, how different lives are born. I have also heard of the progression of a life towards death and after death also. My question is, did Krishna tell this in the last Adhyay? In the last Adhyay, Adhyay 10, did Krishna talk about the journey of death and post-death? Or it was long back? It was before? Anybody?
Long back.
It was before, isn't it? Yes, sir. In the 8th Adhyay, it was there. But Arjuna is now talking about it, meaning all those times, whatever Arjuna was listening and silent, inside he was subconsciously or consciously connecting various dots. They are not connected. That is why the realization did not come. But now he is connected and he says, Krishna, you have talked about this. You have talked about this journey. You have talked about the final journey also, he says. O lotus-eyed one, I have listened of the soul and its imperishable, all-pervading greatness as a whole. In the second Adhyay is where we saw introduction of the Atman. Arjuna is again relating to it, meaning all these 18 Adhyayas are actually very linked, like Arjuna is now forming these links. Who knows, when you study the Gita, suddenly take out second Adhyay and 14th Adhyay, second Adhyay, 18th Adhyay. This is a very common aspect. Each individual, depending on their understanding, they identify those links. It is like the connecting of dots has to be done by us only. Arjuna right now is going way too ahead. He's already started connecting all of them. Krishna is telling that. Now comes the cat of the bag. What is he asking? Next shloka, he says, Evam etadya hatha tvamatmanam parameshvara drashtum ichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. O Lord, as thou hast said about thy divinity, so art thou. I understand with clarity. He says, Krishna, what you are saying, that is truth. I understand because you have told it, that's true only. But, O greatest supreme, I desire to see thy physical self and form. Please display to me. Show me that rupa of yours, that divine. You're talking about your omniscience. I see my beloved Krishna in front of me. I like this Krishna, but I want to see that divine, which Krishna is referring to, the supreme I, which he tells so many times. I am here, I am that bija, I am the sutra. Let me see that supreme link is what he's saying. And he quickly adds, he says, Manyase yadi tachakyam drashtum mite prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayamanam avyayam. He says, no, I know I'm not capable. He's absolutely not ashamed of admitting it. He says, yes, he says, but if you wish, Krishna, if you wish, you are the God, you are the Lord, you can make anything possible. You can make what is impossible also possible. So what is it? Can you not give me that chance? It's like how they say, Mukam karoti vachalam panghum langhaya te girim yat atamaham vande paramanandam madhavam. Why is it said? This is one of the mantra. Why is it? Mukam karoti vachalam. The dumb who cannot speak properly, who is not able to speak also, suddenly becomes vachala, becomes an eloquent speaker. Panghum langayate girim, the person who is limp is suddenly summoning the energy to go climb a big mountain also. How? How is it possible? With kripa, with grace. So with the grace, all, as Sri Aurobindo says, all can be done when the God touch is there, or all is possible when the God touch is there. Well, like that, Arjuna is conscious. He says, no, I cannot see. It's like he's raising his hand and saying, no. He says, if it is thy will, O Supreme God, I shall be able to see thee, my Lord, for it is only by thy divine grace that your almighty form I can witness of face. He says, I know it's too brilliant for me, but if you wish, I can see it, is what he says. Now Shri Krishna speaks. Of course, he is going to comply. When the son is behaving in such a nice manner, a child is behaving, the parent or grandparent, what will they do? They will have to comply. It's like this, even if the child is little bit wrong, they want to encourage the good traits inside, something like that. Or that is what Krishna is actually doing, because Arjuna has cultivated a very beautiful purity. If we have seen a big change in Arjuna's questioning also, probably his thinking, we cannot see his thinking, but when Krishna is in front, Krishna can read faces, he can read what thoughts are going on and what are going to come also. So he's understood that Arjuna has put away what is not required inside of his personality, which was pulling him down. Now is the time for him to rise, and yes, Krishna does comply. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashotha Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Devyani Nana Varna Pratinicha. Shri Krishna then spoke, O Arjuna, behold, for I shall display to you my 100,000 forms shall stand in your view, all divine in their multitudinous shapes, hues and kind, in all their dimensions that are otherwise beyond the mind. There are other dimensions also which you don't know. You'll see all those dimensions also, is what Krishna is saying. Isn't it? What do we see? Anybody? What are the dimensions that we can see? How many dimensions can we see? 3, isn't it? 3 dimensions. But does that mean there are only 3 dimensions? No, that is our limitation of the eye. There are more dimensions also. For somebody on a 2-dimensional plane, 3-dimensional is something which is unbelievable. Somebody on 1D will not understand what 2D is. Well, here Krishna is saying, I'll grant that vision to you, because you will be able to see all, is what he says. Pashyadityan Vasun Rudran Ashvinau Marutastatha Bahunya Drishta Purvani Pashyascharyani Bharata. Oh Bharata, look is what he's saying. Observe, oh Arjuna, the many forms of the Adityas, the Vasus, the Ashwini Kumars, the Ashwini twins, the Maruts and the Rudras. None before on earth have ever thus witnessed these supramortal wonders. None has experienced. Krishna says nobody has experienced these supramortal wonders, so experience and enjoy. He's talking about all the Vedic devatas, all those suktas that maybe he would have heard. He's saying, watch, watch. You want to see the Rudras? You want to see the Adityas? Vasus. Look, the Ashwini Kumar, the divine horsemen. Look at them. Krishna is telling. He goes on further. He says, Ehaikastam jagatkritsnam pashadyasa characharam mamadehe gudakesha yachanya drushtavechasi. Witness today, O Arjuna, the universe complete with all the mobile and immobile forms replete. Observe them to be united, but yet a part of me. So they all look like they're connected with each other on the outside, and yet they are a part of me. That my link is visible there, he says. And also glimpse everything else that you wish to see. It's like you have wish what you want to see all. You aspire. Here, I'll grant it, is what he says. But he says something else. He says, Natumam shakyase drushtum anenaiva svachakshushat divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogam aishwaram. Again, Krishna says, I'll give that to you. There's one beautiful aspect when you connect with the divine. Divine has got everything, and the divine is the all provider of everything also. So by the providence of grace, you can receive everything. Here Krishna is saying you cannot see normally with your eyes. I'll give you what is the Divya Chakshu. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. We will see this later on also. Krishna says, by the mortal eye, you cannot just see and bear the vision that will soon be. There is an inner eye which I shall now awaken within you, so that a vision of my divine yoga you can behold and view. This is for you to understand. I will open the inner eye. It is called Jnana Chakshu. That is there. My question is Arjuna an alien that he alone has this and other human beings don't have this? Or all human beings have this inner eye? Anybody?
All human beings.
All of us, isn't it, sir? All of us. Means that is an inner eye. You can call it inner eye of knowledge. What different. Sometimes things appear on the outside and still we do not see because our minds are elsewhere or we are trapped in some illusion. And suddenly we, why did I not realize this? And when that realization comes, it changes everything. Well, here Arjuna is being granted in one ability, what we can say, to see. Anybody has gone to watch a 3D movie? Yes. Has anybody tried seeing it without the glasses? Anyone? Yes, please. What's your experience? Jayamji is adding. Yes, Jayamji. Okay, if you can mute.
If you watch without the glasses, there is not that much of an effect.
We get a headache also, isn't it, Ji? We cannot see clearly. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, so we need some, what they call in Sanskrit, upanetram. A netra on top of the netras. So that is like an extra eye, what we wear glasses. Well, this is an inner eye. Different people use different terms for it. They say this is the third eye, or which we say the eye of Shiva. Some people say that is the place of awakening of consciousness. That is the ability which will allow us to see. So many such things are talked about. That is a seat of Sushumna Nadi. So many different things, whatever it is. We know Krishna didn't call an ophthalmologist right now and say, I'll insert one more extra eye, because that's not what he did. He's not talking about the physical eye. He's talking about the consciousness. Something we'll have to see what this is later on. But let us stop here. Krishna goes on. He says, Sanjay speaks now after Krishna has spoken. Sanjay uvacha. Eva muktva tato rajan mahayogeshvaro harihi darshayamasa parthaya paramam rupam aishwaram. With these words, O king, the Lord of Yoga, Shri Krishna, blessed Arjuna with his supreme form's revelation, the Darshana, the destroyer of all sins, the Godhead divine, displayed to him all his infinite forms, resplendent and fine. So the inner eye opened, and suddenly Arjuna got the experience of what we call the Vishwarupa. The Vishwarupa Darshana is right now taking place for Arjuna. It is brilliant to imagine what's happening. How Krishna says, Sanjay says, Anek Vaktra Nayanam, Anek Adbhuta Darshanam, Anek Divya Bharanam, Divya Neko Ayudham. The Godhead with infinite eyes and faces, armed with weapons and warheads, divine at different places, displayed his innumerable forms, wondrous and dazzling, with his countless divine jewels and ornaments gleaming. All the most beautiful jewels, all the beautiful ornaments, all of them are gleaming from this Vishwarupa. And this Vishwarupa is looking very different. It's got infinite eyes, infinite faces, several faces, and so many arms, and all arms are having weapons in them. There are warheads also, what we can say, like nuclear warheads, so many. Not just a Sudarshan Chakra only, so many other things he is able to witness. Krishna is saying. Before we go in, my question is, what if you were in place of Arjuna and Krishna is saying, I give you that darshana? What would your reaction be? Anybody? Anyone, if you can just unmute and tell me, what would your reaction be? We'll just hear 3-4 reactions and quickly go ahead. Yes, please, anyone. Please feel free to unmute. If Krishna says, Dadami darshanam, I will grant that to you. Divya Chakshu also. Shivaji, yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll feel overwhelmed. Plus
Overwhelmed.
disbelief.
Disbelief and overwhelming feeling. All right. Okay. Badrinathji. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you.
We'll be too happy and we'll be exhilarated. We'll be in joy to receive it.
Okay.
Because
all
it is
right.
something so.
Ji sir. So what we can say, absolute ananda, ecstasy, that ability to see at that moment. Okay. What about fear, Badrinathji? Any fear would be there or just happiness?
No, because when the Lord is there and when you are in that sort of consciousness, when you are tuned to his level of consciousness, maybe at that time fear may not be
fear
there.
Won't be there. All right. Okay. Badrinathji says no fear there. All right. Shardaji wants to add something. Okay, Shardaji.
We'll be thrilled. We'll be thrilled, sir.
Okay. All right, Ji. Yes, ma'am. So this is what we see, normal, elated, happy, exuberant, all of it. Well, Arjuna is having a full riot of emotions going on, and not just emotions. He's having a visual also, a great visual, so many different things. And not just visual also, because other indriyas are also functional. He's also getting smells. He's getting beautiful fragrances coming from different directions. He's probably hearing different sounds of these various Vishwarupas also. Let us go on. Krishna goes on. Divya Malyam Varadharam.
There could be some fear also.
Om Prakash says
something
fear.
Unexpected can.
But overall happiness, isn't it? But overall happiness
is there.
Because
but
that
somewhere
is
inside, small,
yes.
something
Some small
what is
amount of fear. Yes. All right. Because it is the aspiration of the Bhakta and he has got the darshana. That is all that he seeks. Krishna is, Sanjay goes on. He says, Divya Malyam Baradharam, Divya Gandhanulepanam, Sarvascharya Mayam Devam, Inantam Vishwato Mukham. Garlanded with heavenly adornments and celestial scents and fragrant anointments. Many times, that is why when people do meditation and all, they offer different fragrances, because through the fragrance you try to connect. And sometimes people who do a lot of dhyana, without even lighting a particular essence, they get the smell of a certain fragrance, because that is considered as a what we can say, a presence, a symbolism of that presence, that fragrance. And Arjuna is getting a plenty. He says, so many garlanded with heavenly adornments and celestial scents and fragrant anointments. a surreal being stood before him with infinite mouths replete, and a splendorous brilliance embellished the god complete. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yoga Padithita Yadi Bhaha Sadrushi Sasyad Bhasastasya Mahatmana. As if 1,000 suns had together emerged, and if their brilliance had coalesced and merged. So what has happened? It looks like 1,000 suns have suddenly risen. One sun, it's difficult to watch in the morning after it has risen up a particular level. We can't directly see. Here, it looks like 1,000 suns have become. And what happens when so many come? All appears one. It's like that. Suddenly, all light, just one colored only, everything. All their brilliance has coalesced and merged. So was the divine glorious refulgence. So overwhelming was the heavenly magnificence. What we can also understand from this is that it is not a static darshana. It is a dynamic one which is changing. It is changing like if you see in a kaleidoscope, you look from one side, it looks different, then you change it a little bit different. Well, like that, this darshana is also becoming very, very dynamic. Arjuna is overwhelmed, is what Sanjay is saying. He says, Tatraikastam Jagatkritsnam Pravibhakta Manekadha Apashyad Deva Devasya Sharire Pandavastada. And Arjuna was struck with awe, as in the very mortal envelope of Krishna he saw the vision of the God of gods, supreme, the mighty creator of existences, every realm. From his Krishna, from his Sarathi, from his beloved friend, suddenly one awakening is happening and he's able to see. And it's very difficult for him to visualize, but he's just overwhelmed. Because this is the divine. This is the great divine which Arjuna has only heard of. He's heard from his guru. He's studied about it in certain scriptures. But right now, all that he has read or heard is now manifesting right in front of his own eyes. Arjuna, this Sanjay goes on. He says, Tataha sa vismaya vishtu rishta roma dhananjayaha pranamya shirasa devam krutanjalirat ashata. What will be the reaction of the bhakta when he sees this? Full Sashtang Namaskar. That is all which Arjuna is doing. He is so overwhelmed. He's having goosebumps. Sanjay says, seeing the Vishwarupa most magnificent and beautiful, and also inconceivably terrible and powerful, trembling at the hair-raising and surreal vision, Arjuna prostrated, offering his full bodily submission. Now Arjuna speaks. So, yes, Om Prakash ji, yes, sir, please tell me.
Sanjay is telling this means he is also able to see the Vishwarupa.
Yes. We can say Vyasa Prasadena. By Vyasa's Prasad, he is able to, with his Divya Drushti, he is also able to experience this.
And that Divya Drushti is given by the divine only.
Yes, by Vyasa.
Vyasa.
By Maharshi Vyasa. It was like what we can say. Sanjay is equivalent to our modern day reporters. Only he doesn't get so excited. He's like live reporting right now what is happening. Well, it's like that. He is reporting to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is the viewer, something like that. We are all hearing like Dhritarashtra only because of Sanjay we can also hear. So we should be grateful to one namaskar to Sanjay as well as Krishna and Arjuna. Well, this is there in Mahabharata that Sanjay could also see. There was also another barbaric who could see. So, yes, Shivaji wants to share something? Yes, sir.
Yeah, just that Sanjay gets it without asking. He didn't
have
to go to all the trials that
this is what they say, Punya, no? So many people aspire. We don't know. The divine has its own calculation. He understands. We don't know what Sanjay did in his last birth. But definitely, he is now reaping something which is special. Absolutely. Because not everybody gets this opportunity. Even the great sages, they didn't get it. Badrinath wants to add something? Yes, sir. Then we'll quickly go on. Yes, Ji. Please unmute, Ji.
Whether other than Sanjay, is anybody able to see that Vishwarup Darshan or
Barbaric could see her. There were selected ones only.
Okay. Thank you.
As Krishna said that there is a Divya Drushti that is required. These were the ones who were blessed to be able to see. It is said actually like that. It is very true in the world also. Sometimes brilliant things happen. Only some people are able to see. Like for instance, when some big sadhana was going on, Sri Aurobindo did his big tapasya for several years, not leaving his room, doing meditation for bringing about some kind of manifestation, which is called supramental manifestation. So many people had come. Initially, Sri Aurobindo had come alone to Pondicherry. It was just a fishing hamlet, nothing here that time. But knowing his sadhana, so many people started coming. Then they said, we also want to experience when you succeed, because you are aspiring for something which we also want to experience. So many people were there. But only a few got the experience. They were conscious, they were meditating at that particular moment. They were able to understand. In the ashram, only a few, and then there was one more person somewhere in Africa, so far away. But that person was able to experience and feel. When it's something like that, this is Maya. Maya keeps a block. So if everybody had been sincere and wanting, aspiring truly, they might have been, what we can say, lucky enough to experience this. But the aspiration only was not there. Everybody was busy sharpening their weapons, busy choosing their position, what I am going to do, whom I am going to kill. All these calculations they were busy doing, not realizing what's happening in that same Kurukshetra. 5,000 plus years later also, they are still looking at that beautiful dialogue. There were so many people watching them. You see, Mahaperiyava had given this instruction to his Shishya to go and teach Gita. So he went to a temple and started teaching Gita to everybody. What everybody? Only 2 people came for his Gita session. And he finished. He was feeling, Arey, what is this? Only 2 people have come. But he finished teaching, and then he went to his guru and he said, only 2 people came directly and listened to me. His guru said, at least you are better than Krishna. Your record is better. Krishna had to speak directly only to Arjuna. All the other people around were busy and not wanting to listen. Well, something like that. This is what is happening here. Arjuna is experiencing. Now Arjuna is going to express a satisfied bhakta whose astha is suddenly getting up to the brim because his darshan has come, what he aspired for. And he got it so easily. Well, let us see what he speaks. Arjuna uvacha. He also looks overwhelmed only. Pashyami devanstava deva dehe sarvans tatha bhuta vishesha sanghan brahmanamisham kamalasanastha mrushischa sarvanuragansha divyan. Arjuna then spoke. All the gods and divine beings I now see, emanating and expanding from within thee. Seated in the cosmic lotus, Brahma is the epitome of grace. I also see the mystic sages and those of the divine serpent race. Krishna says, all the gods, Krishna, I am able to see all of them. He says, look, Brahma is there. Brahma is seated in that cosmic lotus. I'm still not able to visualize it, but look how graceful Brahma is what he's exclaiming. I see the great mystic sages also. The Sapta Rishis are also visible, and the Naga races also I'm able to see, is what he's saying. He goes on, Aneka bahu daravaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam na antam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami vishveshwara vishwarupa. Countless arms, stomachs, heads and eyes. I can see all, your infinite form, vaster than the skies. Neither a beginning nor end. To it can I conform. Oh, I behold once more the Lord of the universe's universal form. Suddenly Arjuna is feeling very tiny. He's not understanding because he's lost his, what we can say, location only. Am I standing in front of the Vishwarupa? Or is the Vishwarupa surrounding me from all directions? Is it above me? Is it below me? He's suddenly lost all his coordinates right now in this dimension. He is just getting absolutely overwhelmed. And he's saying, I can see countless arms, stomachs, heads, eyes. Infinite, your form is vast and brilliant, vaster than the skies. Sky is already so vast, this appears even more vast than the skies than my eye can see. Anybody has heard of the Purusha Sukta in the Rig Veda? Yes? If yes, the first line of the Purusha Sukta, Purusha referring to the Supreme Divine Creator, how that Vedic Sukta talks about Om Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad. Sahasra heads, Sahasra eyes, Sahasra, same thing Arjuna is also. So he's probably getting a full Purusha Darshana only of the Supreme Purusha. This Purusha is not the same as male, female in the genders. This is a supreme divine. In Sanskrit, Purusha refers to the ultimate divine existence. And everybody else, male, female, cis, trans, bi, whatever new genders are going to come, all of them come under Prakriti, which is the feminine part, counterpart of the Purusha. So the supreme divine is considered the one, supreme masculine, the Purusha. All other living beings become a part. And now Arjuna is suddenly experiencing this great Purusha. He goes on further. Kiritanam gadinam chakrinancha tejo ranshi sarvato deeptamantam pashyami tvam durniriksham samantad deeptana larka dyutima prameyam. With thy crowns, maces and discs of destruction, I witness thy opulence that pervades in every direction, thy overwhelming iridescent luminous, oh so bright, thou art like a brilliant mass of fire and light. He says this is an iridescent luminance, meaning that if this is a phenomenon, iridescence, which is changing of colors of the light as the emanations take place, the light only keeps changing colors like that. This Vishwarupa also is appearing to have various hues, continuously changing is what Krishna is saying. And you look like a brilliant mass of fire and light. He goes on further, he says, Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam tvamasya vishvasya param nidhanam tvamavyaha shashvata dharma gopta sanatanastvam purusho matu me. Now the guardian of Sanatan Dharma, Arjuna was thinking he was the guardian, isn't it? In the first Adhyay, he was saying Sanatan Dharma will get destroyed. Krishna, if I participate in this battle, see this will happen. Don't you understand all of this? Now he is seeing why Sanatan Dharma is Sanatan, because the guardian is like that and he is seeing the Supreme Purusha. If you see, even our Bharata, how many attempts were made to destroy our knowledge? Whatever the lineage was destroyed, the transfer of how it was happening, that was destroyed, the scriptures were burned, villages were pillaged, and even temples were destroyed. Whatever wisdom was there, they tried to destroy it, but problem was they couldn't touch the source. Source is where? Where did the Vedic Rishis get from? They didn't go and copy from somebody else. They connected with the divine consciousness and from there it manifested. So that source, which mortal can touch? Arjuna is now realizing that this is the guardian of the Sanatana Dharma. You, Krishna, or you, Pope, great Purusha, now he recognizes. He was wrong to assume everything is his own responsibility. He just has to do his karma, that is sufficient. Remaining will be looked after by the divine. That's something he's beginning to understand, but not yet fully understood. Arjuna goes on, he says, the highest immaculate truth that by man can be known, the foundation upon which our universe is grown, the indestructible guardian of righteousness eternal, I believe thou art the one, celestial and supernal. This statement, thou art the one, this is so close to what the great Mahavakyas of the Upanishads are. Tat Tvam Asi. This is a realization of somebody who has experienced and who has seen the divine. And Arjuna says, yes, you are the divine. I know that this is my experience. It is like this is my actual experience, lived experience. He says that to Krishna. He goes on further. He says, Anadi Madhyantam Ananta Viryam Ananta Bahum Shashi Surya Netram Pashyami Tvam Deepta Hutasha Vaktram Swatejasa Vishwamidam Tapantam. Thou hast neither beginning, nor middle, nor end. The universe burns with the heat that thy fires send. Thy arms infinite and thy eyes are the sun and the moon, and thy face appears to me like a blazing, fiery cocoon. Your face is only looking like full of on fire only. Your arms are already infinite. One eye looks brilliant like the moon, another looks even more brilliant like the sun, is what he's saying. And he says, I can watch the universe And I see the heat transfer taking place. From you only this heat is going there, is what he's saying. Arjuna goes on. He says, Dyava prithivyo ridam idam antaram hi vyaptam tvayekena dishascha sarvaha drushtvad rupamugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyathitam mahatman. The heavens, the earth, and all of space are but extensions of that divine grace. So these are all extensions, is what he is saying, of you. The heaven, whatever three loka, they have just originated from you. They are just dimensions stretching from you. By a vision of thy fiery form, only fear reigns among the skies, the earths, and in other planes. So Krishna is being told all three lokas are filled with bhaya by this form, because now this form is looking ugra, which is looking more powerful, more, it's like the heat and energy is becoming too much. I'm afraid these lokas will only get burnt by that fire, is what he's saying. The sun looks beautiful, isn't it? But if we go too close to the sun, what's going to happen? We'll get burnt. We cannot go at all. It's something like that. And Arjuna is watching from a close. We can only understand his plight. What ecstasy, Ananda was there. Slowly that Ananda level, if there was a meter, it will just show that Ananda level going down, fear level slowly rising, because this is what he's experiencing. But there's a group which is not afraid. Amehi tvam surasangha vishanti kechit bhitaha pranjalayo grunanti swastityuktva maharshi siddha sanghaha stuvanti tvam stutibhi pushkalabhi. There's one group which is not afraid of this Vishwarupa, he says. The groups of demigods are all entering thee, both adoring and afraid, I see. So even the demigods, even the devas look afraid of this great crazy this form. But the liberated beings and sages, thy prayers sing hymns for the prosperity of every living thing. Means the Siddha Sangha, the Siddhas, they are already liberated. They have no attachments, so they have no fears also. They're having absolutely nothing. And what are they doing? They're looking at the Vishwarupa and celebrating, probably singing Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, something like that. Let all Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu. Look at the brilliant guardian. Joy to the world. Let there be only Ananda everywhere. Something like that. Krishna goes on, our Arjuna goes on. Rudraditya Vasavo Yecha Sadhya Vishveshvino Marutash Choshma Pascha Gandharva Yaksha Surasiddha Sangha Vikshanti Tvam Vismitaschaiva Sarve. The Rudras, the Adityas, the Vasus and Sadhyas, the Ashwini Kumars, Vishwas, the Maruts and Ushmapas, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras and the beings perfect, transfixed on thy vision, only all their eyes reflect. Their eyes are full of this complete, what we can say, overwhelming, one kind of, they're startled also, because of which they are transfixed. They're not able to move. They're able to, if you see Rudra in the various Rudra Sukta, you just see the different descriptions of Rudra. Rudra is like a storm. Rudra is like the fire. Rudra is all powerful. If you see, Rudra is described as Uchchair Ghoshaya Krandayate, meaning that just screaming and shouting at a loud voice, that is the power of Rudra. It's like a moving big storm. Well, suddenly the Rudras have also become silent looking at this Vishwarupa. As it is said, Rashmimantam Samudyantam Devas Sura Namaskritam. Meaning in front of this, even the Devas, the Siddha Sanghas, the Gandharvas, all have become suddenly, what they say, Natamasta, completely full. They are all just overwhelmed with this divinity. Our Arjuna goes on. Rupam Mahate Bahuvaktra Netram Mahabaho Bahubahu Rupadam Bahuduram Bahudanshra Karalam Drishtva Lokaha Pravyatitastataham. O magnificent Lord, with many faces and eyes limitless, with strong arms, bellies and feet, each countless, myself, he's admitting, myself, all the nations in the world find thy form terrible, with infinite teeth, thou striketh a fear unbearable. He says, even the nations and countries are afraid of you because I am also overwhelmed. I can just visualize what the world should, how the world will be afraid watching this, is what he's saying. So many strong arms, so many beliefs, so many feet. Here he goes on. Navaha sprusham deepta maneka varnam vyattananam deepta vishal netram drishtva hitam pravyathitantaratma dhritinna vandami shamam cha Vishnu. This is what they say, shamaswa parameshwara, something like that. Shamam cha Vishnu is asking. Blazing the heavens is thy burning manifestation, multi-hued, open mouth, with eyes in every dimension. Thy vision I am unable to grasp with joy or peace, for the panic within me does not seem to cease. So he's telling me, I am unable to stop this panic, is what he's saying. Arjuna goes on, Danshra karalani chate mukhani drushtaiva kala nalasannibhani disho na jane na labhe cha sharma prasida devesha jagannivasa. Prasida, be pleased, O great Vishwarupa. He says, I witnessed thy mouths with destructive tusks, not just teeth. They're like tusks we have seen in elephants, but now in Vishwarupa also. And not one or two, there are numerous tusks coming out. He says, O Lord of Lords Supreme, a great despair overwhelms me. Sorry, I missed the second line. I witnessed thy mouths with tusks, with destructive tusks numerous. Thy faces are death and time, oh so fierce and enormous. Suddenly, Mrityu also is standing in front of him. Kala is also standing in front of him. Both these are completely overwhelming him, and he is now afraid. He is not like the Siddha Sangha, who is not yet reached that state where he is completely liberated. Otherwise, he would have just been smiling happily and doing a namaskar only. Right now, Arjuna is probably needing to move one more step ahead. He's still having fear inside of him because of some attachments, maybe to his own thinking also, his way of thinking. He has to change. He says, O Lord of Lords Supreme, a great despair overwhelms me. O shelter of the worlds, may thy merciful grace upon me be. Now he is feeling afraid. Sometimes we should be careful what we wish for. He wished for Vishwarupa. Now he has got what is. Bhagavan is like, hey, lo, take it. But now he is not able to bear it only because it's becoming too much for him. He goes on further. He says, we'll look at 2 more shlokas and then we'll complete today. Ami chatvam dhritarashtrasya putraha sarve sahaivav nipal sangaihi bhishmo dronaha suta putrastathastav sahasmadiyairapi yodha mukhyaihi. And it's interesting, you see, he's having a rivalry with Karna, no? So he doesn't address Karna by name. It is not racism or anything, it is just anger against his opponent. He calls him Suta Putra. But Krishna, when he addresses, Krishna uses the word Karna only. But this is Arjuna's nature. So again, Arjuna will have to understand. See, this is the nature. Right now also, he's still holding on to his own thoughts, his own whatever preconceived notions. They has not lost all of it. This is the problem. Even in front of the Vishwarupa Darshana, he is not able to forget his past also. He says, I see all of Dhritarashtra's children and host of all the kings and the strongest of men. Bhishma, Drona and Karna, I see them too. And the prominent amongst warriors proceeding in a queue. So suddenly all the heroes of this Mahabharata he is able to see. And what are they doing? They're like standing in the line. They're going in a particular line only. All of them, all the heroes. Bhishma also, Drona also, Karna also. All the children of Dhritarashtra, all the great, powerful heroes. Let's stop at the next shloka. Vaktani te tvaramana vishanti danshra karalani bhayanakani kechadvilagna dashanantareshu sandrashyante churnate ruttamangaihi. This is the gory sight that he is seeing. What is happening to this queue? This queue is proceeding directly into the mouth of the Vishwarupa. He's saying into that dreaded mouth of fire they are receding. So it's not just a mouth, it's like a fire burning and they're all getting burnt inside. All of them overpowered. and helplessly squirming. So they are trying to escape, but it's like a suction force is pulling everything inside, and they're all going inside. And they're overpowered by this supreme force of the divine, that all the heroes. Now, isn't this a symbolic vision that Arjuna is getting? Okay, what is the strength of the mortal in the face of the divine, supreme? Between thy teeth, I see they are bleeding heads protruding, crushed and ground by thy razor teeth, and thus horrifying. We'll just stop here only. What has happened to the Vishwarupa? What was it before and what right now? He's seeing the heroes getting crushed, and as if food gets stuck in between teeth like that, their heads are crushed and they're protruding, and it's looking very ugly. My question is, will anybody feel Ananda looking at this now? Because earlier we said if we were in Arjuna's place, we would feel happy. Will that happiness remain looking at this? Anybody? Yes?
No, sir.
No. He will ask for his original room.
Yeah, he said, no, galti ho gayi. I asked for Vishwarupa, please, no need. Show me that. Well, we'll see what Arjuna does. We will see, because right now, this is looking crazy for Arjuna. Already he is getting overwhelmed with the vision. It's like suddenly a ordinary processor has suddenly got upgraded and is getting so much more inputs than it can handle. And now he's seeing all of this. So we'll stop here. We'll stop. This is what has happened to this great Ugra Rupa. First, it was beautiful, calm, peaceful, all of it. And suddenly it started becoming gory and ugly. So even the heroes, what is this mortal strength? What is the mortal strength in face of the divine? In the face of the divine, the mortal is nothing, is what is symbolized here. Nothing. All the heroes of the Mahabharata, all the champions. What happens ultimately? Kalaya tasmai namaha. Everybody will have to bow to this truth. And this is what we see. We'll stop here with the Shanti Mantra. After which, any questions are there? They are most welcome. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kasyat dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat Krishna Mande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Yes, please. If any queries, most welcome. Hari Om ji.
Hari Om,
Namaste.
sir. Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma'am. Namaste ji. Namaste,
Hari
sir.
Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. If any queries are there, or we'll conclude the session. Yes, please. Hari Om ji. Namaskar. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaste. Yes. Hari Om. If there are no queries, I'll conclude the session. Yes, sir. Hari Om ji.